Greetings, every people. Zero Clip Personality here. Toon Critic's name. Toon's the name of my game. So this is not a review. This is my 2016 retrospective video where I'm going to talk about 2016 as a whole. I'm going to be talking about cons that I went to, experiences that have happened, highlights, low points, but I wanted to just kind of get this out of my system so that way I can move on to 2017 and focus on a lot of things that I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to working on new projects with my friends, new opportunities, new ways to do things, just new things in general, and I'm really happy about that. But now, I gotta get this out of my system. There's a lot of stuff that happened, good and bad, so I have my phone here, so I'm just gonna be using it to realize where we picked off. So, I guess I have to start this by saying, the first con that happened was Pacific Ponycon. Now, before this, there was a situation that happened. I don't want to delve too much into it, but I made some stupid choices, some stupid mistakes that involved certain horse news, and it was an interesting sort of experience because how do I put this? They kind of stalked us a little bit during the con, and it was really weird because I had never really gone to a con and not really felt safe. You know, always checking around my back, always traveling in a group, and didn't help that you know, Keyframe was in that sort of situation as well. So we were off to a bit of a rough start with Pacific Ponycon. However, I can say that the first con of the year was definitely special because that was the first con where I met Lightning Bliss in person, and she is such a joy to be around. She is like my big sister now. I absolutely love spending time with her, working with her on projects. We talk practically every day, and it is so weird, you know, you have someone like me and someone like her, you know, as like best friends practically. And it was fun. We all went to Disneyland California Adventure, which was, as you saw in the vlogs, definitely a fun time. It was good for all of us, minus the rain. The rain kind of killed the whole thing, at least for a little bit with us, but we made that experience memorable. I can remember that while we were at Disneyland, we were all standing in line waiting for Aladdin, and the rain was just pouring down, and we were stuck out there. And it was so, oh god, it was such an endurance just to sit through all of that. But rain or shine, we made it through. And then Pacific Ponycon as well was a cluster. It was a cluster of a lot of things. A lot of the panels we run didn't quite run the way we wanted to. Keyframe fell off the stage, and we almost thought she'd have to end up to the hospital. And Lightning Bliss, this is her first time really vending, along with Doc and Silver and Josh. But I think it was a good sort of family experience. You know, it was a great start for all of us. Ponycon NYC was originally something I wasn't going to go to, but a few months before I had reconnected with someone that I hadn't seen in 8 months. For this sake, I'm not going to really bring her up by name or picture, but if you've seen the Ponycon NYC vlog, the little one that I did, you may see her in it. She was the main reason why I went to it, and things didn't really work out the way that I expected. You know, it was one of those things where you think things work out, but once you really start to think about it, maybe things just weren't meant to be in that case. And drama aside, it's kind of killed Valentine's Day for me. It kind of put a whole damper on a lot of the things that that happened. The con itself was fine, but here's the fun thing that came from that. That was the birth of cartoons. That was where I debuted cartoons for the first time. Creating cartoons was not a thing which people assumed, oh, you're just doing it to stay relevant and fresh. No, it wasn't. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to create something that I could carry for the year, and sort of new experience, because at that time, I felt like my work wasn't really going anywhere. I needed something fresh, something new. So I created cartoons, a whole other character, a whole another personality where I could get to be like this, snarky bad guy sort of thing. And it was so much fun because I've always enjoyed that role. And it felt so good to kind of debut that at NYC. You know, the collab chemistry panel, I think went over really well. Crown Prince was a joy to have on the panel with us. But when the con ended, that's where things really took a sharp downfall. Not getting into the relationship that I had hoped was one thing, but then we come to me just being able to get home. I briefly mentioned this in one of my vlogs, but what ended up happening is that there was a snowstorm, and I was unable to get back home the night I was supposed to. And I was freaking out over that, because that's never happened to me before. You know, I've flown a lot, I've had situations where I guess snow kind of gets in the way, but never like this, to the point where all the flights got canceled, every single one of them, and I was freaking out over it, because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I ended up getting a hotel for the night. Thankfully, my parents and my friends were able to help me out with that, but I hope I never have to go into that situation again, because it just terrified the hell out of me. But I think it was during that point, I think it's where a lot of the heartbreak and pain I had been carrying kind of just stacked up and finally kind of just crushed me. That's kind of where the depression kicked in for me. And it's been like that up until this point. I've been battling with it practically all year. It's not been fun. You know, it gets hard sometimes, but I'm not going to whine or complain about it. I battle it every day. I persevere through it. I stay strong. I remind myself that what I do has an impact on at least some of you, so I'm glad for that. I'm not some big horse famous celebrity. I'm just me in front of a camera or on a mic entertaining people, and that's all I've ever really wanted to do, and it works. So I can think that as some meaning. But getting back to, that was one of the most terrifying experiences in my life. Eventually I got home, but God, that was traumatizing for me. It kind of kept me on edge throughout most of the year. But I can say at least from then things started to go up a little bit. I went to 2 small cons after this, sort of to just clear my head with some friends. One I helped film a photo shoot with, and the other was just birthday pass. So I went to Heroes and Villains Fan Fest and C2E2. Those were given to me by my friends, and also an opportunity I got a free badge for it, helping out with friends. So people assume that I spend all this money on cons, but really I don't. I really don't. But I met a lot of people there, and you can see in the pictures below of who I met. It was pretty cool meeting a lot of people there. But what ended up happening in April, though, was Winnie City Ponycon, Chicago's return big pony convention. It's gonna be great. Didn't quite go out the way that I'd hoped, but that's okay. I made the most of it. I had Josh with me there. I had John, who's one of my good friends. I had KP there. We made the most of it. We had a lot of fun. Some good experiences came from Winnie City. I think we all had a good time. We made the most of it. I might do it again next year. I'm not sure. I mean, I'll probably end up doing it. It's probably not going to be anything like last time, but here's hoping it'll be a better experience. But I did enjoy it. I did enjoy seeing you guys there. I met some great people there. And I was happy to support my hometown crowd. I'm going to BabsCon next year. I skipped going to BabsCon because I wanted to focus on Winnie City. This year I'm going to BabsCon. Not making that a mistake again. I think I can at least do both. 2 big things happened around Winnie City Ponycon, though. It was when I started doing lip sync battles. That's where I think things really started to gel in my head, as I found something new that I could do at conventions, because I was loving lip sync battles, and I was loving the energy and how much fun it was to do. And when it really went over well at Winnie City. But that wasn't the only thing that started brewing in my head. Around that time also, that's where the original idea came up for Roundtable is Magic. Now, it was really lazy of me just to do these half-assed vlogs of Season 5, and I wanted to do something new for Season 6, and we got a bunch of people together, and we thought, you know, Roundtable's Magic would just be a small sort of thing, but we're still going. We are still producing stuff. We went beyond Season 6, and I've seen how amazing this podcast is. It's actually brought a lot of us together like family. You know, me, Keyframe, Golden Fox, Lightning Bliss, Voice of Reason, Eliora, and now British Ninja. It's a fun podcast where we can just be ourselves, and I have a lot more fun doing things live as opposed to editing videos and whatnot. I love the fan interaction. I love seeing people. I love seeing their reactions live. I love seeing, you know, all these Twitch streams that I get to do. That was another thing that sort of came around this time, all the Twitch streams that I started doing. I started getting into that after a friend suggested, dude, you should do game streams. And I had taken a break from them for a while, but then I started doing them again, and it was a lot of fun. And it still is fun. I have more fun doing Twitch streams than I do my own videos now. And when I started using it, I guess, when the idea came up of that, maybe I can use this for other things, I'm getting paid to do it, and also you guys helped me out with a lot of things. It's through the Twitch streams I was able to go into hashtag ToonFit, which, by the way, it is a success. I've lost like 20 pounds off of it, and I'm glad I was able to, because losing weight has actually helped me get better mentally, emotionally, physically, too. I'm able to do things that I wasn't really able to do before, and much more. I'm not as toned as I thought I was going to be, but that's just phase 1, losing the weight. Probably phase 2 next year will be, or this year, I should say, should be with getting more muscle mass. I'm not going to be as strong as some people, but at least I'm going to be in good shape. And also through Twitch, I was able to get a new laptop to play new games with you guys, and also help with my editing as well, which is very important because I want to be a better editor so I can make better stuff for you guys. So I want to thank everyone who's helped me throughout that. And I don't want people to think that I've ever scammed them for money. I don't want to think that what I've done has been a waste of time. I wanted to do things not just for myself, but for all you guys and for my best friends as well. So the Twitch streams have been good. The roundtable has been great. And let's see, where does that leave us? Oh yes, that leads us to BronyCon. Oh god, this year's BronyCon was a mess. God. This has to be one of the most chaotic BronyCons for me, because on the Thursday of BronyCon, I lost my debit card. And then on the Friday, I lost my laptop charger cord. I was not in my element that con. I did red and black and wrong all over, and that caused all sorts of trouble. I got myself into some really, really hot water, and you know, I said some stuff, I apologized, I assume all this stuff was far beyond me, but no, some people still like to bring up the past. In fact, I'm not gonna lie, I find it actually rather amusing that two people in particular thought it'd be great to tweet at not just Phillycon, but also Ponycon NYC saying, "Dad, you shouldn't let Toon go to this con. Don't announce Toon as a guest at this con. You should see what he did." Like, first off, no one's gonna listen to you. Second, why would you waste time being so petty? That I don't get. But anyway, back to BronyCon. Doing collab chemistry was a lot of fun. It was great to get to be able to do my own panel again, because 2015 I wasn't able to. But I think the highlight of that con was the TF2 Analysis Anarchy panel. Wow, I can remember grabbing my shake, because I was going to use that for a gag when we got things started. I remember getting into the hall on early that day and discovering that, whoa, okay, what's going on here? There's this long line. I'm like, what's this line for? Oh, the TF2 panel. Really? And I went in there and I was like, do you guys see the line? This is insane. I have never been in front of a crowd that big before, and it's those crowds that get me so energetic and so hyped up. It's why I always stress that when you go to a panel, you always show support and give a good audience, because a good audience will help energize and keep people interested in all of that. And that whole panel was just amazing. It was the best part of BronyCon this year. And of course, hanging out with all my friends, you know, meeting new people. I met Kishi and Sketchy. God, I met so many people. It was great connecting again with everybody, and I cannot wait for BronyCon this year. Yes, I'm going to BronyCon 2017. You bet your ass I am, because BronyCon 2017 is where we're going to have the entire Roundtable is Magic crew live. We are going to have a live panel for everybody to enjoy. We're going to have everybody there, because Golden Fox is going, Keyframe is going, British Ninja is going, I know Voice of Reason is going, and I know Lightning Bliss are going, so we're going to have everybody there. That's going to be great for next year. But overall, 2016, minus its hiccups, with BronyCon, I can say it was still a fun experience for everybody. So after all the stuff that went on at BronyCon, the next con that I went to was quite a surprise from one of my friends. I had heard that there were going to be a lot of WWE superstars at Wizard World Chicago. Now, you know me. I'm a big wrestling fan. I have a wrestling podcast. You should totally check it out. But going to Wizard World Chicago, I got this special WWE Champion VIP pass thing. And he wanted to surprise me, one of my good friends, with something. And I think this would count as a pretty good surprise. This is a replica belt. Look at the size of this thing. No more toy belt. You got the real thing right here. This is absolutely amazing. But one of the big things I can remember, I met a lot of superstars. I met Becky Lynch, Bayley, Seth Rollins, and then I met my hero. Now, CM Punk was my hero, but Dean Ambrose soon became my new hero. And I should say that I got to meet him. This whole Champion VIP pass I used exclusively to get an autograph with him, and not only that, but I was able to get pictures with everybody. Now, I got an autograph from Dean Ambrose, and I asked him to write something uplifting, and this is what he put. Don't take no shit, which I'm going to be using as my motto for 2017. Dean Ambrose, thank you, sir, for making that con absolutely amazing, because I can remember getting in line to get a picture with him, and he walks in, and he's got the actual WWE Championship with him, and I have mine on. He looks to me, he's like, "Hey champ, what's up?" And he had this big grin on his face. I'm just like, it was so great. It was so amazing. It was worth standing in line just to meet him. This thing right here. This is what makes so much of that con worth it, and also, I've been dying to get one of these. I can remember the first ever wrestling event that I went to. Oh god, it's been so long. It was a live event. It was a SmackDown event, and I got, if you remember, I got a toy championship belt that I've been using. But now, this. Oh, I'm gonna have some fun with this. Now, Phillycon was a con that I wasn't even planning to go to anyway, but everyone there was really nice. I wanted to help them out with that. Me and Voice of Reason went to it, and we had some interesting experiences with that con. The people there were beyond amazing. They were so nice and welcome. They gave me and Voice a lot of chances. We got to interview Ingrid Nelson and Alexandra Carter. We got to do Who's Line. I've always wanted to do Who's Line, and it was so much fun to do. We also did lip sync battles there, and oh yeah, I should mention lip sync battles. I'm gonna eventually give a YouTube link to all the ones that we've done for 2016. What else? Oh, of course, silly me. I do hopefully plan to go to it next year. It was interesting to see how the whole con kind of just assembled itself. We also helped out with a lot of things. Cramped hotel, but other than that, it was a lot of good fun, and it was so much fun being on so many different panels and meeting so many different people too. So I can't wait to go to it next year. Well, hopefully, that's a big if. Now, while all this was going on, the cartoon saga was going into full effect, and it really started to kick in, not just around BronyCon, but even before then. And it took a lot of collaborating, a lot of risky things a lot of us hadn't tried, but when cartoons came into full evil villain effect, and he was popping up in different channels and playing all these mind games and making people really hate him, this storyline was something I thought I'd never be able to pull off, but it was something. It was really interesting at first to get started, but then when it started getting a lot darker and deeper and more complex and more intriguing, the more that I grew invested into it. Finally, I was so happy to be making videos. I was looking forward to doing something new, and that's what I had been doing throughout all of the year. I found a way to improve my skills, and not just that, but create something and push myself to limits I didn't think I had. And through that, I made some very dark and interesting videos with a lot of people, and it blurred the line between fantasy and reality, especially with The Last Chance. That was something. But what it led to in the end was, of course, my new OC. Now, a lot of people still think that I only did the arc just to get a new OC, but no. I wanted to make a story. I wanted to make this story that everyone could get invested in. And everybody did. Everybody was so into it. Especially when the first match happened and Toon lost and cartoons took over for a while. The reception was beyond amazing. Getting to air the finale, or the epilogue I should say, at Phillycon was great too. Because it was after Phillycon that reinvention happened. And I was able to start pushing myself in the right direction. I can say that the cartoon saga was very fun to write, and it is certainly not over. At least one part of it is, but you know, as they say, when one chapter ends, another is about to begin. And you're going to see that through 2017. There is a lot of stuff in store with Toon and cartoons. Let's just say that I've got a lot of things in store, and I think you all are really going to enjoy it. And then we come to Nightmare Nights, a con that I had been so looking forward to. I was dying to go to it because it was around that time when my depression was really kicking my ass. Nightmare Nights is what my BronyCon experience should have been. Getting to hang out with Bliss and Key and A and Y and Will and Kichi and everybody. We all had such great times. We all had so many great stories. I wanted lip sync battles finally. I got to interact with Dusty Cat. That was really fun. We all went to Six Flags. We all had some interesting panels, interesting experiences. We made the most of that con work. We all just grew together as a family for most of us, and it was... I kind of felt at home, you know, in that sort of environment. And I'm looking forward to going to Pacific Ponycon. Oh boy, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be going on there. But Nightmare Nights is what BronyCon to me should have been. And Isaac was there. Isaac, you guys know, is my title card artist, and getting to take him out to a con for the first time made the experience a lot more fun because it was like seeing it through his eyes. And doing that, I saw a lot of things again for the first time. Isaac's one of my best friends, and taking him to a con felt like babysitting, but you know, it was still fun. It was still great to have him there, and he felt at ease with everyone there, and I felt at ease too. Kind of just sitting there after all the fun stuff had gone down. It just makes me wish that I could have those experiences all the time, because those are the times where I'm truly happy to be with my friends. Not just my friends, but people I consider family. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Why did I decide to bring back cartoons? Well, I guess in a way he really is like my other half. I feel that he's not done yet. There's all sorts of things that I can do with him, and I can do things from a different perspective too. As an actor, I feel being able to play him, it's almost like playing that other side of myself, and that's why it feels so natural. When I got to actually be him at a con, that was a different experience, but I feel like it was a good experience, you know? And now that he's back on a permanent basis, and I'm going to be doing all sorts of new things with him, I want to keep doing new things. I want to try things that I've never tried before. Try everything, if you can believe that. But I decided to bring him back because I feel there is potential to him. I feel that there are a lot of possibilities with him that I have not explored yet. There were a lot of original stuff before the whole evil cartoons thing. Yeah, which is complicated, I know. The evil alter ego has an evil alter ego that got killed when the... No. Well, I'll try to explain it best I can. Basically, what ended up happening is that cartoons, when he was hit by the dark magic from Thunderblight, that is what created an evil side of him, an evil copy of him that took over. And the real cartoons is the one that you're seeing now. So, some complex Kingdom Hearts drama, Heartless and Nobodies, but I'm glad that I got to bring him back because, as I said, he is my other half. I get to do all sorts of cool things with him, and I look forward to all the things that I can do with him next year. And I know a lot of you don't want to see that, but I think you'll be interested to see what I'm going to be doing with him now. I know I've been talking about cons, but one of the things that I haven't mentioned yet is my family. So, this year has been a rough year for all of us, but we've all made do with what we could. On the good news, we have a wheelchair lift now that we've been trying to get since last year, and we only got it, I think, around September or October, which is good, because this actually really helps a lot with my grandpa. Those that don't know, my grandpa has been in the hospital many times these past 2 years. He had an infection in his leg and he had to get his leg amputated. So he's been in a wheelchair pretty much for all of this year. And it's been difficult because he's also type 2 diabetic. He deals with a lot of health issues, but well, in October is really where things almost took a turn for the worst. There was an incident that happened with the wheelchair lift and an inspector who didn't do his job right, and Grandpa ended up falling out of the wheelchair and hitting the back of his head on the concrete, and this gave him a concussion and also gave him a lot of memory issues. He had to go to the hospital, and he almost had a stroke in the ambulance, which was one of those things you don't unsee. It's sort of a difficult thing, but I did not want to see my grandpa back in the hospital again. But by the time that this is up now, he's doing a lot better. He's getting his memory almost 90% back, and I'm really grateful that you guys understood and were able to help us out as well. It's been a tough year for our family. Held this Thanksgiving, we got almost all the family together, and it was a very emotional moment because that doesn't usually happen. It just happens with a few of us. But I'm glad that we were able to get my grandpa back, back fully by the time Thanksgiving rolled around. Actually, the whole him getting up in the hospital was right back when I got back home from Nightmare Nights, so I guess the timing couldn't have been better, I guess. But I'm just glad that he's doing okay. I'm glad that our family is still doing okay. Financially, we're fine. Everything's all good. I've always loved my family. I love how close we are. They were very accepting of me when I became a brony and I started doing all this. They've been 100% supportive of me. They want to see me go further than this too, and I'm glad that they're so supportive. Not many people I know are really okay with the fact that, their son or daughter is a brony because it's like, it's pedophiles and stuff, but no, they understood that. I almost thought I was going to lose my grandpa. Because, 2016 hasn't taken enough people, right? No, it's got to be like that, but I'm just glad they're okay. 2016 has had its ups and downs. There's been a lot of highs, there's been a lot of lows. There's been a lot of things that I've done that haven't been good, but there's also a lot of things I've done that have been good. So, neither one or another outweighs each other, as weird as that sounds. I look forward to 2017. I find it funny that last year I was saying, 2016 is going to be great. Well, I've had time to think about it, and I think its progression, at least, there's going to be a lot of obstacles. There's always going to be things that are going to take you down. And as my depression has got worse, I really started doubting myself. But I'm not going to let that stop me, because what I do, how I do it, what I enjoy with my work, I want to keep doing for you guys. And it's been hard, but it's not impossible. And I'm never going to give up on that. I am never going to quit doing this for you guys. I'd rather die than not be able to do this for you guys, because it gives me purpose, and I wasn't able to find that before. This is what makes me happy, and I don't know what sort of things I'm gonna do, I guess, after, you know, stuff goes down. I don't know if my life's gonna get better. I don't know if it's gonna get worse. I don't know. But what I do know is that I've got a lot of experience through this year. It's been a trial and error process. And that's good. That's a good thing. Trial and error is good because you'll never know. You'll never know what's going to happen. You can't always play it safe because you always learn through your mistakes. I think that's good. I think that's how we want to end this. So go ahead and put down in the comments, I guess, what has been your favorite 2016 Toon Critic moment. And I look forward to Pacific Ponycon. I look forward to 2017. Thank you guys for still staying here, for being awesome, for still supporting and everything that you've done for me this year. I want to at least be able to give back to you guys in some way or another. So, with that being said, I'm the Toon Critic, keeping you totally tuned for your entertainment. Here's to the end of 2016, and here's to 2017. A new year full of new beginnings and a lot of fun.